Hey everyone, Blue Dogma VA here. So this is going to be a video I promised a little while ago, and I unfortunately took a bit longer to make it than I said I would, and I'm sorry. This is the Fate Grand Order Lancers tier list. I've been a bit busy lately, and I apologize if my voice isn't 100% today. I've been working a lot lately. I started a new job just now, and it's 12-hour shifts. They're pretty brutal in terms of time. So let's just go ahead and jump into this tier list right after we have a word from our sponsors. That's right, this video is sponsored by Proton VPN. Proton VPN is a free VPN that also allows you to pay a subscription fee of $5 a month or $60 a year to get access to more countries than what you get on the free version. The VPN has strong encryption, it is based in Switzerland, which means it has very strong legal protection. It has a no-logs policy, it is high speed, and they protect your privacy. Anonymity is priority number one. Having recently tried their product myself on my smartphone, I can actually say I really do like their app. They also have a mail service called Proton Mail, and they were gracious enough to sponsor this video. Check the video description and pinned comment for a link. I seriously recommend checking them out. In the meantime, though, let's go back to the tier list. Alright, so without further ado, let's talk about characters. Now, quick disclaimer, as per usual, I am judging these characters based off of my opinions of them, not based on how strong they are. This is not a canon tier list, this is not a gameplay tier list, this is just me judging them based on how much I like these characters, and what I think of their different appearances in various Fate mediums. So, let's start with Artoria Pendragon as both a Altar Lancer and her normal Lancer form. Normal Lancer Artoria, I would say, goes right to A tier. I like her concept a lot, and although I think her third Ascension design is kind of ridiculous, I am willing to put up with it for the sake of her first and second Ascension designs. I think those are really awesome. I love her look with all the armor, and I love her look with just the face showing. I also love that she uses Rongominiad. That's a really cool weapon. I am glad that Fate has given that lance so much significance in its canon. I definitely like Artoria Lancer a lot, and I do hope that the Camelot movies are good because I want to see her kick ass. Now, Artoria Lancer Lancer Altar, I'm going to put in B tier. And I say this because I could be wrong about this. I'm not an expert on Fate canon or anything. But it doesn't make sense to me that, she could even be an altar with the idea in place that her spear is supposed to negate, any self-doubt or anything like that because of how Rongominiad's mechanics work. Now, I'm not an expert. If I'm wrong about how this works, then please correct me. Aside from that, I really don't like the design quite as much as I like normal Artoria Lancer's design. I think it's a very grandiose, serene design. It doesn't work quite as well with the aesthetic that the Altar Lancer form is going for. I love the first Ascension, but the second and third really do lose me a lot. Now, on to Bradamante. I don't know a whole lot about Brad because I'm an NA player and I don't know a whole lot about the JP servants. But it is cool to have more than just Astolfo from Charlemagne's Paladins. Brad also has a really good design, and in general, I love Lancers, so I'm willing to give her a nice B tier. In general, I also have I like the way she looks. I don't know a whole lot about her, but again, anything associated with Astolfo and the fact that she is just generally a good character from her design alone, I'm willing to put up with her. Bryn is... this is really tough. I love Siegfried, and anything even, adjacent to him is immediately, really, really cool to me. I'm putting her in S tier. I like Bryn a lot. For one thing, her design is fantastic. For another thing, I like the mechanics of her Noble Phantasm. And for a final thing, I love everything even loosely associated with Siegfried. I like to pretend Sigurd doesn't exist. But Siegfried is a wonderful character. I love everything about his legend. Bryn is one of the best parts of it. And I love her interpretation in Fate. Her hair is beautiful for one thing, and I like the design of her weapon. There's so many things about Bryn I have to praise. I gotta move on. Two more S tiers right off the bat. We have Chulainn and we have Proto-Ku. Chulainn I'm putting up here because he's Ku. And anyone who knows me knows I love Chulainn. He is one of my favorite Irish legends. Fun fact, I wrote a one-act play about him in high school. I think he's honestly one of my favorite mythological characters of all time. And Protoku is just a subset of that, combined with the fact that on my first Fate Grand Order team, before my old phone broke and I had to create a new account because I didn't set a bind code, Protoku was one of my premier servants. I always led with him, Saber Lily, and Shakespeare. And of course, I learned later that that's a terrible core, and I got much better servants later on. But I have very strong, like, just I like those characters a lot because of the role they played in my early FGO days. So Protoku, I have a lot of I have a lot of love for him. He's really cool. I also love his voice actor, and I think his design is a cool twist on Ku. Now, as for Diarmuid, I'm again going to put him in S tier. Because he's one of the best parts of Fate Zero. I love the dynamic of his spears. He has a very unique Noble Phantasm compared to most. I know several other spears have the same effect as his. I think it's the yellow spear that is able to inflict wounds that don't heal. But it's still a really cool dynamic between his yellow and red spear because there's strategy involved in the way he fights. And it's honestly awesome seeing fights like that in Fate because a lot of them just turn into like big beam struggles and giant like monster clashes and stuff like that. And I really prefer when there's a good amount of tactics and strategy going on. Diarmuid has that, and I love that. That's why he's so high ranked. Liz, I'll put her in A tier. I think Liz is cute. I haven't played the extra games, but I know of her from Fate Grand Order. Fun fact, my caster Liz was one of the first servants I ever grailed. I think that she has a wonderful design. I love her cosplay stuff. Just generally, she's adorable. I like her for very, very wholesome reasons. She's cool. I like her. Please don't loot her. Enkidu, I am going to put... shit. Is Enkidu worth an A tier or a B tier? You know what? I'm going to put Enkidu in A tier. I do very much like how Enkidu helps to flesh out Gilgamesh in Babylonia. And in general, I like that Fate has an actual non-binary character. Enkidu is also very, very cool in his design. I like his weapons. Just generally, I love him. And I'm saying he because, you know, some pronouns have been levered toward him that way in the actual show. But I like Enkidu a lot, and I'm glad that he's in an animated series now, so a lot more people can be exposed to him. Poor Lancers. Anyway, Ereshkigal, I am again going to put in A tier. I like her arc in Babylonia quite a lot. I love the way that Rin looks when she's blonde. And just generally, I like the idea of two goddesses inhabiting the same body and switching between it on a will. I like Ereshkigal a lot, and I think she deserves that tiering. Hold on a second. Where's the... Okay, I can create a new tier with this, right? Add row below. Stinky boy. Yeah, there we go. And I'm putting him right there. So for Gareth, I like Gareth's design a lot. Gareth's very cute. Again, I'm an NA player, so I don't know a whole lot about her. But I think just going off of, you know, the different Ascension designs, and especially because she has so dynamically different designs, and I think it's funny that she's a 2-star. I'm gonna put her in B tier because she's cute and she's funny. Hector, I think, deserves that nice B tier. He's a cool looking guy. He's, you know, nice. What's the word for that? Not drunkle, but something similar to that. I like Hector. He's cool. So next one comes. I am so sorry that I have forgotten this man's name. I need to think about it for a second. My brain is scrambled eggs because of work right now, and he only just came out in Fate Grand Order in NA like a few months ago. Oh, shit. No, I feel so bad for not remembering. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hold on, I have my phone. I can check FGO. Inshun. Hosuin Inshun. Okay, So, having used him in battle a few times, I'm not fond of this character. I think he's cool. I like his noble phantasm quite a lot. Um, but I also just I know so little about him. I think that his design with the hood looks pretty cool. I'm gonna put him in C tier because I'm very neutral toward him. He's not a bad character. I just don't know enough about him. Now, as for Jaguar Warrior, especially because of that third ascension, I'm gonna go ahead and put her in B tier. She's a good. I would put her in A, but I like these characters quite a lot more than I like her. But yeah, Jalter Lily, on the other hand, she gets to be an A tier. Her name is hilarious for one thing, but she's also a very fun servant to play in FGO. I like how she synergizes with the other Jauns. I like how she synergizes in general with other characters in FGO. Now, for Karna, I am putting him in S tier, but I'm also going to do him the honor of creating a new tier. One above all the others. SS. And I'm going to put that above. Okay, cool. It doesn't... Okay, that is not what I wanted. Well, what the fuck have I done? All right, cool. I fixed it. It was off screen, but I fixed it. All right, so sorry about that. I'm putting his other design in SS because I love that design. Talking about Karna in general, though, I like him a lot. I think he's one of the best parts of Fate Apocrypha. And the weird part of that is that he's not actually all that well explored in Fate Apocrypha. Which, when you know more about him and you know about Arjuna and everything, his arc in Apocrypha becomes so much more easy to appreciate. But beyond that, he's just a cool dude. He makes you want to know more about him because you know you don't know enough. And personally, I think that makes him worth the SS tier ranking. Now, Kiyohime, I'll put her in B. I like her white hair design. I'm not really crazy for the whole yandere thing. For personal reasons, I don't like those kinds of characters. But she's cool. I like her. Leonidas gets to be an S tier. Leonidas has an amazing design, especially his second ascension, and Babylonia gave him some of the best character moments of any Lancer in Fate Grand Order history. I friggin' love him. I feel really bad because I had to open my Fate Grand Order again to remember Li Xuan's name. And normally I can remember it, but it's just, my brain is so fried, and I know so very little about this character. I like Li Xuan's design, but I'm still putting him in C tier because I still know so very little about him. And I'm sorry, even as an NA player, I don't have an excuse for that because he's been out for so long and I have him. But yeah. Medusa Lily gets to be in B tier. I like her a good amount. I think that her upper ascensions look a little bit too weird. And I would have preferred her just be straight up like Lancer Medusa, or at least for them to have released Lancer Medusa at some point. But I still like Medusa Lily, especially in the game. She's very fun to play with because I love stun mechanics, and she has a couple ways to do that, so that's fun. Raiko gets to be in A tier. I like Raiko quite a lot, especially because of my community in Fate Says and everything I've interacted with there. But Raiko in general is one of my favorite berserkers, and I'm transferring my likeness for her into Lancer. Melt, I am again. I think this is Melt. Please don't crucify me if I'm wrong. The Sakura faces tend to bleed together for me. I am putting her in B tier. I like her design. I know so very little about her. I'm not really a BB guy myself, and I don't know anything about most of the Sakura phases involved in all that. Nagatora is a character, again, who's in JP exclusively, and I don't really know a whole lot about her. I think that she's cool. I like her design. I like her hair quite a lot. But again, I just know so very little about her. Neja has a really cool design going on. I did not roll her in NA, but I do know a decent amount about her because she's a Journey to the West character, and I already knew a little bit about that. I like that there are a bunch of Journey to the West characters in FGO now. I'm not crazy about them. I think all of them so far have been gender bent, if I'm not wrong. But still, Neja's cool. She gets to be in B tier. B tier is looking so very inflated right now. So anyway, as for Parvati, I like her quite a lot. The thing is, I don't know a whole lot about most of the Sakura faces. I know about Parvati and I know about Sakura in general, and I love Sakura. She's one of my favorite characters in Fate Stay Night. So she gets to be straight up in. I'm gonna say S tier because I love her. I love her last couple designs, and just in general, I think she's a very cool character. I love her noble phantasm. She gets to be up there. Langyu, I really hope I'm not mispronouncing this horribly. Kin. I don't know anything about her, and I can't judge her. She looks like a Danganronpa character, but I can't keep dunking on Danganronpa every episode, so I'm just gonna put her in C tier and move on. Romulus is D tier. The Valkyries, I say, get to be an A tier, if nothing else, based on concept. Like I said, I'm still an NA player, so I don't know a whole lot about the Valkyries because they're not out in NA yet. At least I don't think so. But I still think they're awesome. I love the first design with the hood and the red eyes especially. But I just generally think that the idea of putting 3 characters in one because they all share mostly similar characteristics is awesome. I love FGO adding more characters in accessible ways, and that's a great way to do it. Ibaraki Doji, I am recently very fond of, because I've just rolled her as a berserker, and I actually have grown quite a fondness for her. I already love Shuten, so I'm willing to put Ibaraki up there in S tier. I especially love her voice actor. She gets very into things, and it's very cool. Skahak gets to be SS tier, because I freaking love Skahak. I love the Kuhulin legend in general, but I love the way that FGO interpreted her character, especially with her whole deal with being immortal because of the Land of Shadows, but wanting an immortal afterlife and whatnot. It's a very cool way to write a character. And I genuinely love Skahak. I hope we get her in an animated thing eventually. The next thing would be Tamamo no Mae as a Lancer, and I like Tamamo. She's not one of my favorite characters, but I do think she's really cool. I love her design. I think she's cute. And I've heard that she's a good character from Extra, but I'm not into Extra, so I don't really know a whole lot about her aside from FGO. I have her as a caster in FGO. I don't have her as a Lancer, but I still think she's a good character. Vlad the Third Extra, I am not super fond of. I'm confused as to why they felt the need to write Vlad. I'm so sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. He's very angry at me for not being around him right now. But anyway, back to Vlad. So I am very confused as to why they felt the need to make Vlad so many different things that don't mesh with one another very well. I like the idea of Vlad being this old man who doesn't necessarily embrace the Dracula legend, but definitely doesn't refuse it and uses the power as he needs to. I definitely am not unfond of the idea of Vlad manifesting as a berserker and using the Dracula powers passively. And I'm definitely fond of the idea of Vlad hating the Dracula novel and wanting to purge it from existence. I don't understand why they can't settle on a version of that character. I'm putting this Vlad in C tier. I'm not really partial to Extra that much. But even if I were, I strongly dislike how ununified Vlad has been in Fate portrayals. I like a lot of the ideas, but I don't think that they've been done correctly. I think that they've very much contradicted one another at every turn. I don't understand why Vlad can manifest as a Lancer in 2 different ways and then a Berserker in another when none of them seem to have enough characteristics to separate them completely. I mean, his Lancer and Berserker forms look literally identical, like from Apocrypha to Fate Grand Order. So yeah, that's small rant there. But this is the overall tier list. I hope you guys like my opinions on this. If you don't, I apologize. Yeah, and again, special thanks to Proton VPN for sponsoring this video. And that's all. I hope you guys have a good night, and I will be back hopefully next week. We'll see. I'll shoot for it, but I don't know for sure, with another video. And yeah.